You ever wonder why some questions are treated like threats? Why we're told not to dig too deep? Like there's a line you're not supposed to cross, and once you do, you get labeled. A conspiracy theorist? Well, I've always had a penchant for asking questions, for seeking the story behind the story. And that curiosity has led me to read widely, far beyond the borders of conventional books. Books that some might instantly dismiss as fringe. And one of those books is this one. You see, the term conspiracy theorist is a word weapon, a tool, a silencer. It was coined to make people fear inquiry, to push them away from uncomfortable truths. Once upon a time, those who asked hard questions were called philosophers. People like Plato, Socrates, and Kant. Today, ask too many questions and you're a tinfoil hat-wearing lunatic. But where there are no conspiracies, there would be no theories to formulate. And in my own life, I've even had friends question my objectivity just because I dared to challenge ideas that sounded illogical to me. But in my language, we say that the person who loves you is the one that criticizes you the most. And the meaning is clear: critique is not hate, it's care. So why shouldn't I ask questions like, why were Libyan rebels able to set up a central bank before their uprising? Why the sudden interest of the French in Côte d'Ivoire? Is it just love for the people? Why were certain individuals so invested in the US president's birth certificate? What's the interest there? Why did Building 7 collapse on 9/11, even though no plane touched it? Why does it seem like some lives are worth more than others? These are not disrespectful questions, they're necessary ones. But we live in a time where even questions make people nervous. There is a politics of words that trap us, words that, force us to shrink our actions out of fear. For example, if I care about the common man, I'm a communist. Or if they want to be kind, a socialist. But if I seek personal gain, even at the expense of my brother, my country, my ecosystem, my very survival, then I'm a capitalist. And being a capitalist today, that's pretty much synonymous with being rational. Governments don't even act in the public's best interest anymore for fear of being labeled. Remember when Obama was called a socialist for implementing the TARP, the Troubled Asset Relief Program? The truth is, people aren't afraid of helping one another. They're afraid of names. Now, into this mix enters Manly P. Hall and this book, The Secret Destiny of America. Actually, it's a combination of two of his works. The original, The Secret Destiny of America, published in 1944, and America's Assignment with Destiny from 1951. It's not your typical history book. It reads more like a philosophical document, a spiritual treatise, and yes, a challenge to the mainstream narrative. Hall was himself a Mason, and in this work, he explores the idea that America was founded with a secret spiritual purpose, a grand plan to become an ideal society from which democracy and freedom would spread to the world. Now I know, just saying that sounds like conspiracy talk, but hold on, let's go deeper. Hall lays out how ancient knowledge, passed down through secret societies, from Egypt to Greece, from the Aztecs to the Mayas, influenced the foundation of America. Figures like Francis Bacon and Christopher Columbus aren't just historical characters in Hall's telling. They're key players in a deeper spiritual mission. He connects dots between civilizations, ideas, and eras, painting a picture of a world where hidden wisdom is guiding humanity toward enlightenment. But Hall's perspective is different from many conspiracy narratives. Unlike Jim Marrs in Rule by Secrecy, who sees secret societies as power-hungry dominators, Hall views them as guardians of knowledge, philosophers in the shadows, working toward a better world. One of the most striking quotes from Hall is this:
"Competition is natural to the ignorant, and cooperation is natural to the wise."
He adds,
"Lack of cooperation would make the building of a man of nobility impossible. We cannot hope to build a nobility of man upon the sterility of a narrow, competitive, materialistic educational policy."
That line hit me hard. Because what are we building today? A society of cooperation or one of hyper-competition? Hall also talks at length about the Mayas, and what he says completely redefines how we think of them.
The Mayas were not a warlike people, and there is no support for the popular belief that they were by nature cruel or barbaric.
And even more shockingly,
it is believed that the Mayas hold the world record for continued peace. They flourished as a great nation 500 years without war with other tribes or internal strife.
Now how could that be? We're told that from war comes peace, but the Mayas had no wars, no prisons, no poverty, and they lasted 500 years in peace? How? Hall writes,
the Mayan nation was a collective commonwealth living under an advanced form of socialized order. They possessed all goods in common and shared equally in the benefits of their production. They possessed no money or monetary symbol of any kind. There seems to have been no poverty and little, if any, crime. No buildings have been found which suggest prisons or other places of confinement.
And that makes me ask, if they could do it, why can't we? The second part of this work, America's Assignment with Destiny, was a bit less gripping, but still important. In it, Hall reinforces the idea that America's role as a world leader depends on its morality, not just its military or economic power. He writes,
the light of the ancient Vedas is slowly but surely illuminating the whole world. The vision of man's noble destiny and the sacred sciences which made it possible, the realization of that vision have been guarded and served by the silent ones of the earth.
But I had a problem with this. Can peace really be achieved through military might? Through covert operations, wars, and coups? If this vision is noble, why must it be imposed? Why not allow nations to willingly adopt it? And then I began to notice something. Even Hall seemed to wrestle with this tension. He offers a critical answer.
Progress is not bound inevitably to any nation or people. Social and political structures are instruments for the advancement of the great work, only to the degree that they keep the faith. If ambition or selfishness breaks the bond, the privilege of guardianship is forfeited. This does not mean that the project fails. Rather, that which fails the project loses the privilege of leadership. The plan then passes to the keeping of other groups and other ages.
That humbled me. It reminded me that no nation, not even America, is guaranteed to lead. If it becomes selfish, if it becomes consumed by materialism or military greed, the mission will move on without it. This is an important book, not because it tells you what to think, but because it gives you so much to think about. It offers an alternative history of the United States, a spiritual and philosophical vision that challenges everything we're taught in school or see in media. Now, if the idea of secret societies, hidden plans, and spiritual blueprints makes you uncomfortable, this book isn't for you. If you prefer the official story, if you don't want to look behind the curtain, then maybe pass this one by. But if you're like me, a seeker, someone who wants to understand the deeper forces shaping our world, then The Secret Destiny of America might just be one of the most enlightening books you'll ever read. As for Manly P. Hall himself, he was a philosopher, mystic, and teacher. Born in 1901, he spent his life exploring ancient wisdom, hidden knowledge, and the spiritual side of history. He wasn't just a theorist. He was a bridge, connecting past wisdom to present confusion. In the end, the book didn't just challenge the world around me, it challenged me to think more, to ask more, to question fearlessly. And that, I believe, is the beginning of true knowledge. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of Hall's vision? And more importantly, what questions are you not afraid to ask? Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you're interested in diving deeper into this book, I've left some links down in the description. You can use it to grab yourself a copy and keep the adventure going. And if you're in the mood for more great reads, don't go just yet. Click on one of the videos popping up right now that I think you'll love. And don't forget to give this review a like, leave a comment, or even subscribe if you'd like to see more. Every bit of support helps us grow this little community of book lovers. See you in the next one.